This is my experience from moose hunting and moose guiding and moose outfitting for the last 14 years in Alaska. Let's start right now. First things first, guys, I want to talk about something that's pretty unique in Alaska, especially for moose hunting, and that's a moose scapula. Now, you can use several different things that imitate a moose scapula. Moose scapula to me is best just because of the sound it makes, that raw bone feel. You use it to scrape against trees and create a sound that imitates moose antlers rubbing on trees, because that's part of their calling mechanism during moose season, is they use that to talk to each other. You use that to pre-rut and just kind of notify each other where each other is at, and then you can isolate them. They'll come into these scrapes and rakes. You can use the lid of a bucket. You can use a mouth call. It uses, as you can kind of see, they're thin for a reason. So you can scrape these and it'll give away that same kind of scraping sound. Anytime you're hunting big game, you all should know this by now, you need a good pair of binos. So have a good pair of binos. A spotting scope works really well. Just kind of depends on where you're hunting moose. A lot of moose country can be really tight, but other moose country can be, you're looking at farther distances in open tundra. So my preferred glass that I use is a pair of 10 powers with a rangefinder in them. I house these in a bino harness, Sika bino harness. It's, I would say it's the lesser of all the evils. I think that I like these, even though it still sucks. Let's talk knives. Knives are super important when you're moose hunting. This is a knife roll. It's actually a whole knife and saw and axe kit that I have from Knives of Alaska. I am not promoting any specific brand of knife, guys. I'm just giving you an example of what I have used and what I still use, and I'll give you some other options out there that work great for moose hunting. This kit comes with a hatchet. I love hatchets because you can cut through ribs and you can also cut trees down and hang moose meat. There's a saw. So this saw is not actually my favorite. I don't like this very much. There's actual bone saws, and you guys can see them, where you attach a blade and you can really cut through ribs, and also the skull is really important. So that's something that hatchet can't do, is when you're skull capping a moose. It's really important to have a saw that you can really get through all that deep bone and tissue that's a moose skull. You're gonna do a lot of skinning. This is one of my favorite ones. This is more specific for trophy caping. It's real small, but you can get into little points. You don't think you need a small knife for moose, but it comes in very handy. Here's a big knife that is really good for getting in joints and taking care of hindquarters. And guys, you're literally cutting through meat slices. The hindquarters can be super big. So you need a little bit longer blade to get all the way through there efficiently and safely. Because what happens is you have a small knife in some of those big muscle groups. You tend to reach in there to keep going, and your hands are cold. You're tired, and accidents can happen. So having a blade that's a little bit longer is super beneficial for you when the moose is on the ground and you have a lot of work to do and you're tired, wet, and cold. This is a secondary knife roll that I usually carry. So this knife kit I usually keep in camp because it's really heavy. I don't carry it on my back. I have my primary knife roll that is essentially just made for breaking things down, getting a moose quartered and hung up in a tree, and then coming back the next day to do the full butchering. This is a Mora knife or a Moroccan knife. Again, it's a little bit longer blade, fixed blade. I can get into joints, get rid of a hind quarter, get that hind quarter hung up quickly. I also have a replaceable blade knife that I use for all the skinning and the caping. This is my lightweight knife roll. These are little Victorinox blades. Good, they're bendy blades. I can get in there and move around hide and bone. Always carry a lighter in any pack that you have, just in case you need to start a fire. This is a knife sharpening little tool, just to put an edge back on. So I have my primary on my back knife roll. I have my knife, axe, and saw kit that I keep separately. That is after the moose is down and we're really going to get after it. The moose is dead, laying on the ground. You are going back the next day to pack it out. That is when I use it. So I don't carry a handgun on me 24/7 while I'm hunting in Alaska, because typically I have a rifle in my hands as a guide. I am packing a 375 Ruger or a 375 H&H all the time. The only time that I am vulnerable is when I'm packing meat and my rifle's big and clunky and I got a heavy 150-pound moose meat hind quarter on my back. It's just super bulky. If anything were to happen, if a bear would jump on my back or anything like that, my rifle would be incapacitated. So what I like to do is I like to have a chest rig. This is my chest rig. So in the event that we have to scare away a bear, shoo off a bear, or you actually have to shoot at a bear, or you actually, a bear jumps on your back after the meet, things like that. I like a 44 Magnum. A 10mm Glock or 10mm SIG is another great example of a carry weapon that you should have in Alaska, specifically when you're packing out meat. In this rig, I also have my inReach. So when you're moose hunting or hunting in general, it's good to have an inReach. I also keep this on my chest for that exact reason, is that if I go down and I'm in an emergency situation, the two things that are going to get me out of trouble are my 44 mag and my inReach. All right, guys, let's talk stoves. So super important. You got to make food. You got to heat water. You got to do your thing. You're not going to be making 5-star gourmet meals in Alaska. You're going to be making probably peak refuels, mountain house, dehydrated meals, oatmeal. You're going to be heating up water, coffee, some warm mountain ops, whatever it is that you like to do. I like the MSR reactor. I think it's the best stove that is made. There's several different sizes to these canisters. It all fits inside here. It's kind of nice. It's not a super small footprint, but if you're on a hunt with 2 or 3 guys, this will fill up 2 mountain houses or 2 peak refuels without you going in and getting more water and then waiting for the water to heat up again. Because time is super important when you're hunting, because rest time becomes very valuable. You guys are going to be up super early hunting moose, out super late. You just need to get the calories in, get to sleep, and have the most sleep that you can to go the next day, especially when there's a moose on the ground. You guys are going to be exerting so many calories and so much energy. The last thing you want to do is spend an hour cooking food. This heats up water very, very fast. Jet boils are great too. I love jet boils. They are super efficient and they heat water up super fast too. This is just something that I am particularly favorable of. I've compared them back to back. I actually don't think you can go wrong. It's just what I like to use. What is the best caliber to moose hunt with? Let's talk moose hunting rifles. My opinion, as a guide, I have way different requirements for the rifle that I carry on me as a guide in moose country than you do as a hunter. As a guide, I carry around a 375 Ruger or a 375 H&H because it's my job to protect the hunter from a charging bear and also have a backup rifle in case the hunter's rifle goes down. A 375 is a little overkill for moose. I think the best moose caliber is a 300 Win Mag, a 300 PRC, a 300 short mag. 7mm mag, you'll be fine. But you cross over into that country where you're like, 7mm mag may be a little light if you needed to stop a grizzly bear or if you need to defend yourself, because you will be DIY hunting. 300 Win Mag, 30 caliber is what I prefer. And make sure you have it ready, guys. Make sure you have it sighted in. Make sure you've sent at least 20 rounds in just to know where your zero is. Make sure you've shot at 100, 200, 300 yards. Know your rifle, because your rifle is the key to your success. Don't take it for granted that your scope is perfect because you shot it last year sometime. Really take the time to make sure your rifle's sighted in and it's shooting where you want it to be. As far as ammunition and bullet choices, any bonded bullet will work. You can get away with a lot with a moose, but again, you're going to be in grizzly bear country probably, or brown bear country in some cases. You'll want a bullet that's bonded, meaning it's not going to explode on impact. I love Burger bullets, and I don't think you're going wrong if you shoot one at a moose. I think it'll do a great job at dispatching moose, but is it the best option if you have to shoot a bear, or maybe you want to shoot a black bear or a caribou, or you're on a grizzly hunt too with a guide? You'll want something that holds up a little bit better if you got to get through that big bone of a grizzly bear or a moose. So any bonded bullet, like this is the DGX, the ELDX, Nosler AccuBonds, Nosler partitions. Those are all examples of bonded bullets that mushroom but hold their shape, have good weight retention, and can bust through bone and really do the most damage with any rifle you choose. Do I need waders on my moose hunt? Yes, you do. 100% you do. Do not go on a moose hunt without waders. If you want the best, you get Sims chest waders. You roll them down, you wear them as pants. They're rain pants, and you can freely move through any creek, stream, or lake that you need to shoot the trophy bull of your lifetime. What do I wear on my feet? Should I get stocking foot waders? Yes. Get Sims hiking boot wading boots. They will save your life. You can hunt in them. They're super comfortable. It'll keep you dry, and it honestly can determine whether you're successful or not and how quickly you move and how dry and comfortable you stay out in the field in Alaska. If you're hunting Alaska, you need the right game bags. And guys, moose-specific game bags are super important. Make sure you get something that says moose, and it can take care of all 4 hindquarters and the loose meat. This is an Alaska game package that's specifically designed for moose. You get one like this, or there's a couple different companies that make moose game bags as well. Make sure you have the right ones and make sure you bring them on your hunt. There are mosquitoes in Alaska, so it doesn't hurt to bring a bug net with you on any hunt you do in Alaska. This is the best frame pack that I have ever used. It's Barney's Sport Chalet frame pack. They're really, really great. You can use the Cabela's frame packs too. Those are awesome. Eberly Stock makes some great frame packs. Frame packs allow you to attach the meat securely to the frame and then allow you to move independently of that meat. If you have an internal frame backpack full of meat, it really creates a lot of wiggle and shake, which is extremely hard to hike with. Always have a lot of paracord and have a lot of straps. Like you can see mine, I have a lot of boat straps. These are NRS straps that have like a ratcheting system, so I can really strap that meat down tight. Paracord is super important. Bring a lot of paracord so you can hang your meat in trees, and you can also attach your meat to your pack, and also equipment and tripods and guns, whatever you need. So paracord or webbing is really, really important on a hunt. A tarp is mandatory when you're moose hunting. Tarps can keep you dry, they keep the meat dry, and they can provide cover in almost any situation. Trekking poles can be really, really handy on a moose hunt because when you have a heavy load and you're maybe walking through unstable environments, tundra, creeks, they keep you stable when you need it the most. Now we're gonna break down clothing, tents, and sleeping gear that we have on the hunt. Choosing a tent on your moose hunt, guys, is really important. And really what it comes down to is what is your goal and what does your hunt look like? If it's 2 or 3 guys spiking out, choose a lightweight tent. If you're going on an expedition, raft float type hunt, choose a bigger tent that can handle everybody. Sleeping pads. When you're moose hunting, you're gonna need a sleeping pad, whether you're on the ground or on a cot. I used foam pads because they never fail. They're not as comfortable, but they keep you warm and they never ever fail. If you're on a moose hunt, you need a good sleeping bag. My preferred temperature rating is anywhere from 0 to 20. There are several different environments you could be encountering on a moose hunt in Alaska. You could be hunting in the southeast where it never really gets that cold, or you can be hunting way up in the Arctic in September 25th. And let me tell you, it does get really, really cold. So know your environment that you're stepping into and know the temperature swings that you're going to encounter with your sleeping bag. This particular bag is a treated down bag. I have it in a waterproof bag, which is super important, guys. Everything on a moose hunt should be in a waterproof bag and organized. This is just an REI brand, Magma. It's a great bag. My synthetic bag that I choose is a Wiggy's bag. There are awesome, awesome sleeping bag companies out there. Those are just examples of ones that I ran into or I got a deal on at the time and they work phenomenal. All right, we're getting into the clothing now for your moose hunt, guys. So the clothing is pretty obvious, but there are a few things you may want to consider. Several sets of gloves are really important. Like in my moose bag, I have several pairs of gloves. As you can see, several different flavors. These are OR gloves. I've got some Kuiu gloves and some basic military surplus wool gloves or polypropylene. They're great to keep your hands warm. The reason why you may need a couple pairs is because your gloves will get wet. Neck gaiters are really good on a moose hunt too. They can be used for your neck. They can be used for your head. They're really good in mosquito country. If you forget your bug net, you can kind of cover your face with your neck gaiter and it'll keep you semi-mosquito free. Moose hunting in a baseball cap. Choose your favorite hunting brand and represent them proudly. Keeping your head warm is very important. I always keep one fresh beanie in my tent, in my sleeping bag, so that if I need it while I sleep, and then I have one that I take in the field that I sweat in that gets wet. Just staying dry and comfortable when you sleep and keeping that energy level up and just staying fresh is super important when you're hunting in Alaska. Waterproof bags, guys, everything, it goes into a waterproof bag. So I like to divide everything up, and there's these lightweight ones, and then there's these big PVC laced waterproof bags. These lightweight ones, I keep different kinds of clothing in them. I keep jackets in one, I keep clothes in the other. Always good to have everything wrapped up and organized into something that's waterproof. Let's talk clothes, guys, on your moose hunt. I'm not going to go too into detail. I'm just going to show you some of the pieces that could be unique or something that you might want to consider on your moose hunt. These are gaiters, so these go on your feet. If you're in more tundra, mountainous type country, you use these with your regular pants and your hiking boots. These are the Stone Glacier gaiters that they first come out with. I absolutely hate them. I use the Sitka ones. I like them. These were given to me because I wasn't going to spend another $150 on a pair of gaiters, and a good friend gave these to me, and I love them. Super important piece of gear too, guys, insulation. You want to have a puffy jacket, and puffy pants are awesome. So make sure you have an insulation puffy layer on top and bottom if you're going moose hunting, because guys, you're going to be sitting out in the cold. You could be wet. There's a lot of different scenarios where puffies will save your butt. Rain gear too, guys, tops and bottoms. These are my Sitka rain pants. Super important to have a zipper that goes all the way down so you can take them off, on and off, on and off, and it can be really quick and efficient. Obviously, you have a rain jacket. Thanks for watching the gear video, guys. If you have any questions, hit me in the comments below. These are just the things that I've used and I've learned over the past 14 years of guiding and hunting moose in Alaska. Good luck this fall, guys.